This story posted by Frank Luntz is actually several months old, but considering the main segment I did today, I thought it'd be important to talk about. See, back in August, it seems like Ocasio-Cortez is in, I don't want to say panic mode, but kind of panic mode. You see, one of the big strategies the Democrats have to cut her out of Congress and stop the rise of the far left is to redistrict. And one of there are two strategies. We are seeing moderates and Republicans, moderate Democrats and Republicans, primary challenge AOC. We'll see what happens. She'll probably win. I don't know. The easier solution for Democrats, just erase her district outright through redistricting. When the census comes up, Frank Luntz points out New York is expected to lose a House seat after the 2020 census, and state Democrats are looking to draw out AOC's district. So that brings me to the story. Now, again, the story's from August, but Ocasio-Cortez was going out campaigning to try and encourage people to engage in the census. That says to me she's seriously worried about losing her district. Now, what's kind of dumb is even if her district is to exist, the place where she lives will be absorbed by other districts. It's not like she can never run again. She'll just be in a different district. But I guess the strategy is her district right now comprises a ton of illegal immigrants. And if they redraw it, they can gerrymander it in a way where it makes it very difficult for her where she lives to actually win a primary in a particular district. Like if they put her, combine her with like something in Manhattan or something, and then you got a bunch of limousine liberal Upper East Side, Upper West Side types. I don't know exactly how she does. I don't know exactly where she lives, but that's the strategy. Draw out her district, she gone. Let's read this story from back in August. This is from thecity.nyc. They say AOC makes a Bronx census push amid fears of lost House seats. So the narrative about states losing their seats has been around for a while. And once again, I did that Center for Immigration Studies thing that said like Republicans might lose seats. Well, it looks like the data's been out for a while. I should have checked that one. That's my fault. They say Ocasio-Cortez got a rock star reception as she greeted constituents under the roar of the elevated number 6 train Wednesday morning. The freshman member of Congress, who became a national figure after her upset Democratic primary victory last year, surprised Parkchester passerby with a pop-up event promoting participation in the 2020 census. Quote, "Our strategy is all about building trust in the community before the city enumerators even come to your door," Ocasio-Cortez told the city. "The trust is crucial in a district where 47% of the residents are foreign-born, and fear of taking part in an official government count is expected to be widespread. There's been an increased use of one's immigration status as a form of intimidation." Let me stop you right there. Couple questions. What does foreign-born mean? It can mean a lot of things. Illegal immigrants, permanent residents, and naturalized immigrants. If you're an American citizen, I believe representation is paramount. If you're a legal resident, I believe representation is particularly important. If you're an illegal immigrant, I do not believe it's fair that we assign congressional seats based on people who are illegally in the country. We're providing political power to people based on someone who's not even allowed to vote or even be here or work in the first place. Legal residents need representation. They can't vote, but whoever is in Congress is going to represent their interests, and they're in the country legally with the right to work, and they deserve all the protections that come with it, though they can't vote. If you're a naturalized citizen, you're a citizen. By all means, you get a congressperson. But AOC's district is heavily illegal immigrant as well. So she's trying, look, I don't get the argument, but I believe them when they say it, that people who are permanent residents and immigrants won't fill the census out of fear. I'm like, if you're here legally and you got a green card and all that, what are you worried about? But I guess AOC's putting her money where her mouth is. Certainly she's concerned immigrants don't want to fill out these forms, which could be really bad for her district. She gonna lose her job. Let's read. For Ocasio-Cortez, a full census count is more than a matter of making sure her district gets all the funds and services it's due. In a sense, her own political fortunes could hang in the balance. A review by the city, building on data and analysis by the Texas Tribune, suggests Ocasio-Cortez's district could be particularly vulnerable to undercount because a little over a quarter of those living there are non-citizens. That's a higher percentage than any other congressional district in the state. A census undercount in Ocasio-Cortez's district and elsewhere in the state could lead to the elimination of congressional districts, potentially setting off politically charged redistricting battles. New York already is on track to lose up to 2 congressional seats during reapportionment due to the population decline and slower rate of growth, according to a December report by election data services. So that was back in 2018. The number now gets 1 seat. I have no idea. The data's different from every site. They're all verified. What do you want me to do about it? Every member of Congress should be concerned about the census, said Jeffrey Weiss, a fellow at SUNY Buffalo Law School and redistricting expert who's a senior advisor to New York Accounts 2020. Quote, the damage has been done. The Trump administration, let me say it more menacingly. The Trump administration recently attempted to add a citizenship question to the once a decade count, which dictates how $675 billion in federal funding for things like Medicaid, Section 8 housing, foster care, and school lunches is allocated each year. This controversial effort was unsuccessful, though. The damage has been done, Weiss said. Ocasio-Cortez's district is full of communities with apprehension about the census process, said Noreen Akhter, the lawmaker's deputy district director. You know I'm really bad at pronouncing last names. It's not intentional. We have a high immigration population, a lot of undocumented folks, a lot of distrust from the community in the government. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there and ask you this question. Undocumented people, they're in the country illegally, they're violating our laws, and that should give a district political power in who votes for president and what laws get passed. I don't like the idea that people get into the country illegally without, undocumented or otherwise, overstay their visas or otherwise, and then we're going to give political power to a certain region based on people who aren't legally, listen, man, let me tell you, America has some of the most welcoming immigration laws. You don't want to hear it? Fine. It's true. We're one of a few countries that actually have birthright citizenship because, it's a particular point in our history where this became, an important factor. But we also let in millions of immigrants every single year. Under Donald Trump, that's dramatically lower. And, for whatever, I think Trump's very, concerned about how many people are coming in. He's a very nationalist type person, secure the borders, bring the aid back, all that stuff, whatever. The point is, I don't understand how you justify allocating an electoral vote and political power to a district that's heavily undocumented. These are not citizens. They're not legal residents. They're working under the table. They're displacing jobs. Argue with me. Comment below. You say I'm wrong. It's true. I mean, I just did a whole segment talking about how the Chicago Tribune said that when Trump deports all of these undocumented workers who aren't supposed to be working here, the jobs are filled by locals and mostly in the black community. In-person contact, like home visits, likely will be key to district residents' census participation. While the 2020 census will mark the first time the national survey is conducted primarily online, close to 40% of those who live in Parkchester, nearby Castle Hill, and Classen Point do not have broadband internet access, according to a July report by the cities. But what does broadband have to do with it? If you want to, dude, you could use dial-up to open a website. It doesn't take that long. People are intimidated in many different ways, said Judith Goldiner, who runs the law reform unit at the Legal Aid Society. Some tenants have contacted the organization reporting that their landlords have threatened to call ICE. Wow. At a time when fear of ICE raid runs high, in one case in Brooklyn, Goldiner said, a landlord asked only non-white tenants to sign a lease with a clause requiring they prove their citizenship. A door-to-door effort. I'll only read a little bit more of this because I think you get the point, and, there's only a little bit left anyway. All right, let's finish it up. As Ocasio-Cortez greeted constituents Wednesday, Census Bureau representatives standing nearby handed out flyers seeking workers to go door-to-door in the neighborhood for the crucial population count. As of July 12th, the Census Bureau had filled 28% of the top 121,240 New York area positions it's recruiting for, according to a presentation last month by Jeff Beller, director of the Regional Census Center. So I'll tell you what, man. The big conversation, I guess, is around the influence of certain populations in certain areas. But what I think we're seeing here has very little to do with illegal immigration at all. What I think we're seeing is AOC is at war with the establishment Democrat types. And you know what really bothers me? Here's what we get. We get out-of-touch corporate centrists, people like Joe Biden, who's like, I'm a centrist, and Hillary Clinton, like, I'm a centrist. And then people point the finger at them and say they're centrist. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're crony corporate shills. They're trash, okay? I'm not going to vote for those people. I want a more centrist type, but populist, not elitist. Yeah, we don't get those. We get far left ideological loons like AOC who wants to provide, the green, man, the left hates it when I rag on the Green New Deal. I don't care because none of you actually worked for environmental nonprofits like I did. Because I worked for like 4 of them, okay? And I was actually raising money and fighting for the environment while you're sitting around complaining on the internet about people, in your imaginary, political bubble where you think the world is a delusional state full of Nazis and stuff like that. I was actually out there doing the work. And when I saw the Green New Deal, before it came out, I praised it. I made a couple videos praising it, saying most people want it. It's a good idea. And then she released it, and it was basically like someone took a piece of paper and spat on it and then shoved it in our faces. That's what she gave us, okay? And that's what we get, and that's why I don't like her. Where is the sane, rational, populist individual? I'll tell you what, man. Tulsi's trying. She's trying. It's not working because people are hyperpolarized. They don't care about what's true. I mean, look, I'll put it this way. The Trump base, the conservatives, they're centralized around a core general concept of like American nationalism. And it's their opinion. The left is fractured. It's absurdly fractured, okay? And there's no way to be left anymore. It's all purity tests. It's all circular firing squads. And there ain't nothing we can do about it. So then Trump recruits all of the former moderates who give up, and this is where we go. So anyway, I wanted to do this because I know it's an old story, but Frank Luntz just posted it. And I thought it was interesting that AOC is actually fighting this battle because if any seat goes, it's going to be hers because the establishment Democrats are trying to get rid of her. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Stick around. I got a couple more segments coming up for you in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.